What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so yesterday was game 3 of the first round series between the New York Knicks and the Detroit Pistons. And I believe the Knicks are the 3rd seed in the Eastern Conference, the Pistons the 6th seed. However, despite the 3-6 disparity, most people anticipated this series to be pretty competitive. The Knicks have been a little bit inconsistent this year compared to the expectations that people had. The Pistons have been a bit of a surprise, actually a huge surprise this year compared to the last few years where they have been one of the worst teams in the NBA, if not the outright worst team in the NBA, along with the Washington Wizards, I guess. But the Knicks are still the favorite, and that was sort of borne out yesterday as the Knicks escaped with a 118-116 victory over the Pistons and took a 2-1 lead in this best-of-7 series. One of the problems for the Pistons, I think, or one of the key problems, I guess, in this game for the Pistons was their offense, in particular to Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham, Beasley in particular, Jalen Duren, I believe his name is. I think they all shot relatively poorly in this game. I think Tim Hardaway Jr. and Dennis Schroeder shot well. But other than that, the other guys did not play as well from the offensive end. And Cade Cunningham finished with 24 points, 11 assists, 4 blocks, 2 steals, but only 10 of 25 from the floor. So he took 25 shots against 24 points. That's not too good. Beasley was only 2 of 10 from three-point range. And like I said, that's not going to cut it. Most of the time, it's just not going to cut it unless you're playing suffocating defense and your opponent is helping you by missing shots they normally make. For the New York Knicks, Karl Towns had a great rebound game after scoring only 10 points in game 2 of this series, 31 points and 8 rebounds. Jalen Brunson, 30 points, 7 rebounds, 9 assists. OG Anunoby, 22 points. Josh Hart, 6 points, 11 rebounds. The Knicks had built a double-digit lead going into the second half of this game. The Pistons started playing a little bit better, mounted a comeback, and this game also ended in controversy. Down the stretch of this game, Brunson appeared to commit a backcourt violation, which would have given the Pistons the ball back and a chance to, I believe, tie or maybe even take the lead. But the officials claim that with 2 seconds to go, under 2 minutes to go in the game, a player can go backcourt as long as it's not completely initiated by the player or some rule that they explain that, well, technically it can be done, but it has to be sort of like half-hearted. It can't be by their own force or some bullshit. I'm honestly, I'm not saying it's not in the rule book, but usually when a player goes backcourt or commits a backcourt violation, they whistle them for a backcourt violation. Now, there's been times like, if half a foot is out and they don't have full possession of the ball or whatever, okay, yeah, but I mean, whatever. It is what it is. Then, Pistons fans are pissed off about that. Knicks fans are pissed off about the fact that the scores table for the Pistons basically helped to give the Pistons another possession, which should not have occurred. At least Knicks fans feel that way. That was toward the end. That was to end the game, but ultimately the Knicks won the game 118-116. I think Pistons fans were also ticked off about the fact that they felt like their guys, their team wasn't getting the benefit of the calls. There were times when Cade Cunningham was, in their eyes, drawing fouls, or other players were drawing fouls, and they were getting the benefit of the whistle. And I've said something about that before. I said that in these playoff series, I'm not saying these games are rigged, but the NBA is always going to favor the teams that are, from larger markets. They're going to favor teams that have stars. We all know the NBA's had something of a ratings problem, especially the first half of this season, though they have rebounded a bit. I saw those playoff numbers that said that this is the highest rated playoffs in a quarter of a century. I'm a little bit skeptical of that, but hey, that's what they're saying. So, it is what it is. But I still think that this is a pretty even series. I wouldn't be surprised if the Detroit Pistons come out and win game 4. I still think that this series could go either way, but I would give the Knicks an edge, like I said before, because of experience. And like I said, more than likely they're going to get a little bit of a benefit in calls because of the fact that they're the Knicks. But anyway, that's all I got to say about it. Tell me what you guys think.